Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to Valorant News, and the roster news simply does not stop in the wake of champions. Loads to dive into today, from FaZe to T1, but also what Envy are discussing how they might be cursed going into the upcoming year. But very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, hitting that like button is the best thing you can do to help this channel reach new people. And please consider subscribing as well if you have not yet already. Loads of new subs the last few days. Really appreciate it. Firstly, let's talk about this from VCT Japan. There's there were some things that came out yesterday on exactly what the timeline is looking like for the Japanese Valorant scene yesterday. Now, this also was one of them, suggesting that, top 4 teams go to playoffs, and then only one team from Japan is going to go to Masters. Now, of course, this was kind of controversial, whether this should be the case or not. There has been some discussion in the replies that, I'm very sorry, please wait for the follow-up here. This may not be the case that only one team is going to advance, but separating Japan from the rest of that region maybe makes sense, to be honest. But still, it seems like maybe this initial graphic was wrong about only one team going to be attending. Let's talk about some roster stuff then. So firstly, from Crazy Raccoon, of course, a load of traction here on the tunnel as these regions kind of go crazy on Twitter. But again, Munchkin is gone from this roster, so all these squads pretty much that didn't do particularly well at champions, they're going to be making some moves. And Crazy Raccoon clearly among them. Munchkin's going to be, thank you for your great contribution. He's going to, go on a Munchkin and Scarlet, of course, actually right here. They're also being removed from the roster as well. So notice of withdrawal, as is the translation. But I'm sure you guys who actually speak Japanese can do a much better job of seeing exactly what this does say. Let's talk about this then, because yesterday I kind of preempted this a little bit, talking about the fact that Skadoodle may no longer be with T1, wasn't really spotted in their scrims a couple of days ago. Now, as Purist says over here at Valorant.gg, VLR.gg, Skadoodle's time with T1 may be approaching its conclusion. For what reason is somewhat unclear. This is what the article goes on to say. His tenure with T1 may be approaching its conclusion. The only remaining member of the original T1 roster, once a primary Jet player, he has had difficulty finding a permanent role in Valorant and has since played a variety of agents. He's been absent from their practice as of recent amid the reporting signing of 7, who will likely assume the role of Jet. Unclear what Skadoodle's future entails. It's unlikely he will return to the team moving forward, it seems right now. So for now T1 is this squad with, still Thrifer, Automatic, Curry and Skadoodle, but very unlikely that's going to remain the same because 7's potentially coming in. We looked at that yesterday and Skadoodle may well be out of there. Automatic apparently going to Counter-Strike as well. Now, whether Skadoodle goes back to CS, what's going on, whether he goes to streaming, whether he just retires from gaming entirely, that is obviously very much unclear. But yes, it does seem Skadoodle making his way out of T1 at the present time. Plenty other things to discuss as well, though, because of course, as well, Zeltis says, if you're evil geniuses, right, maybe bring back the Stewie Automatic Tarek Skadoodle Rush team, the one, the Boston Major. But I suppose we'll see about that one if they actually go down this route. Let's talk about this then from Patty, right? So of course, he actually decides to retire from Valorant and return to Overwatch. This is honestly a kind of surprising move to me, because I didn't really know that Overwatch, anyone was still interested in Overwatch, to be honest, or it's actually going to be any good. I guess Overwatch 2 or whatever is coming out kind of soon, so maybe that'll be okay. I'm not really sure. I think a lot of people don't really have too much faith in the Overwatch League to revive itself, but still, Patty came from Overwatch initially, comes to Champions, does some great thing here as well, at least plays at Champions, comes to Valorant, and of course, does some pretty great things. But as you can see on the 12th of December, after kind of his run at Champions ended, then he was kind of thinking, okay, what's the next step here? Is he going to move on from competing entirely in Valorant? Indeed, that is the case. He returns to Los Angeles Gladiators. Welcome back to Overwatch and to the Gladiators. After a great run on X10 Crit at Champions and in the entirety of his tenure, frankly, he's now going to be returning to Overwatch. So kind of a surprise, I think, to a fair few people. It's cool to see from one perspective. I guess Overwatch is going to need to do some saving, and maybe Patty can help kind of contribute to that, right? But just more players seemingly leaving the Valorant scene right now. So not exactly the best perspective a lot of people might necessarily have of this situation. Wanted to talk also about the FaZe roster and what's going on here, because babybay has kind of been an interesting discussion. Baby J, of course, got released from the roster, and then everyone's saying, okay, what's going on? Is babybay going to stay? Zachary decides he's going to leave. Raucus, of course, the coach of Sentinels, apparently going to stay there as well. And Baby is like, okay, if we had to make an NA super team, what would we make? Yay, TenZ, Leaf, Baby, and ShahZaM. Coach Shanks, obviously that'd be pretty damn nasty. But there has been some rumors as to exactly who FaZe are going to bring in, and I'm kind of surprised in a way about this, because it seems like a lot of the guys they're trialing right now, the FaZe Clan roster, aren't exactly the biggest names you're going to find in the scene. Now, maybe that's a good thing, right? Maybe they can make these guys into some big names, but this seems to be what's going on. So, of course, as you can see, they're scrimming, it seems, from a JC Stani and Rossi's streams against the T1 guys, and you can see, you've got Flyer and a Proto. Those are the guys, apparently, that are playing with the FaZe guys. So, as you can see, the FaZe guys, FaZe Tribby and stuff, the coach over there, playing alongside a Proto and Flyer against the T1 guys in the stream. So, it seems like these could be a couple of the players going to that FaZe roster. definitely an interesting situation, but this might be what they're considering going forward as well, alongside babybay and trying to rebuild pretty much the entirety of their roster for next year, because FaZe on paper had a nice squad, but it completely fell apart, frankly, and well, the rest of the guys are going to, well, scattergun probably across the entirety of the North American Valorant scene. Also, that's the other question, right? How many of these rosters are going to consider bringing in some of these European players that, you know, definitely in terms of the IGL role, there's been a lot of talk about that recently as well. So big discussion still to be had on that front. Let's talk about what Envy have been discussing the last couple of days as well, because as Ye said just a few days ago, he had some thoughts on Fracture, how he would change the map for the better. He reckons that the underpass at B is just way too strong. They can already have the ropes to go to the other side anyway, and it's just too easy to attack that bomb site right now. But still, there has been some talk about well, exactly what happened at Champions and the fact that they fell significantly short. We said a couple of days ago, like Sinatraa to Envy, could that be possible? On paper, that seems like a very strange move. I'm not really sure that works. I think it probably Envy will stick together, but still, there was at least some rumors about it. Who knows what's going on with Sinatraa? But still, Envy, of course, after having a difficult result at Champions, there was some talk about what they might potentially do. And well, still, I think Ye came out on stream a couple of days ago and had some words to say on pretty much the fact that he seems to be pretty cursed at this event. Initially, when they arrived, like the situation that Victor found himself in, when he was basically stuck in this room, there was freezing cold for some reason, even while he was ill the whole time. So really, no surprise he underperformed, and that's probably why these guys are looking at, like, thinking, okay, yeah, we were pretty cursed at it. Makes sense. We just, you know, keep the same roster going into next year, and hopefully have some better luck.
Until you have to have like a staff member. You have to have a staff member like manually close it with like some tools. And we're telling the admins, like, hey, you can't play like this. Like the guy is like sick. The guy has COVID. Like he's already like feeling like he has a massive fever and chills. And then you're throwing him into a winter, like literally the window's been open for the entirety of like the night. It's just a completely cold ass room. You know what I'm saying? And that was like for one of our like really important matches. I'm just like, what the no way. Bro, I'm telling you, they were sabotaging us. They were actually sabotaging us. No, I'm joking. They were sabotaging, but like, holy man, that was just like one of the most important, like...
So just after that clip I shared, he also came out and said this on stream that was in a Decerto article I'll leave linked for you guys down below. That month in Europe, the amount of bad luck we got hit with was absurd. We were cursed at that event. I'm not even trolling you. We were actually cursed. It started from the very beginning. We went there to boot camp early, of course. They were out there like way earlier than a lot of other teams. Our flights got delayed 24 hours. We got hit with a 24-hour layover at the airport. The hotel where we were staying in the boot camp facility is a really bad area, and people were approaching us trying to sell drugs and stuff like that. Food-wise, there was no food nearby. No one spoke English in the area. We got some food in Austin, that being Crashies, and I got food poisoning. When we went to get to the hotel where the tourney's taking place, we have to quarantine, of course, for 5 days, and the Wi-Fi doesn't even work. Stuck in a hotel for 5 days, no Wi-Fi, don't have books or anything, just staring at the ceiling. And then midway through, Victor somehow gets, the virus, right? He starts feeling really bad. Then the hotel loses my clothes. Austin got a bracelet or something stolen. Like, it was just absurd. So yeah, he reckons these guys were kind of cursed. Like, maybe as a result of this, they're probably not going to make any moves, given the fact that also, as Scream said, just wanted to point out the fact that Envy had a player with COVID, and knowing that no one can judge their performance here, I'm pretty confident they're the best NA team still, he said at the time. So I guess as a result of this, maybe and all the chaos that was going on, they think, okay, maybe let's not make some moves and keep the same roster going into next year. But just surprising, frankly, to see the conditions they had to deal with at this event. I guess that finally they're back in business now, but yeah, wasn't an ideal time for them for sure. And just wanted to finish off with a couple of interesting things. This firstly from MBS, from the Ascend side. We looked at yesterday, I'm pretty sure, at the Gambit scrim results for the entire season. They played in 2021, the Ascend team that won the World Championship, 648 scrims, 460 wins, 121 losses, 67 draws, and as I say here, wins, losses in advance of some of these tournaments. Interesting to mention, they never played Vision Strikers at all, and Sentinels and Crew scrims were the hardest. Definitely interesting, right? Because Crew coming into the tournament weren't considered to be a monster squad, but apparently a Sensei going into the tourney, Sentinels and Crew were two of the teams that really caused them the most issues, which does make sense on paper, but just interesting looking back at this, right, after seeing the results of the tournament, when Crew, of course, knocked out Sentinels before they could even get to those knockout playoff stages, and just this kind of crazy ace here from Hiko, just to finish out the video. But very much intrigued to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit on a like button, tell us the YouTube gods this is a good video, and also like you should see it as well, and help grow the competitive Valorant community. Thank you for watching as always, take care, and I will see you next time.